It's hard to imagine a life where every day is a struggle for survival, where freedom, love, and safety are just distant dreams. For one dog, tied to a tree for 5 long years, this was his reality. And he wasn't alone. With him were his puppies, born into this heartbreaking existence, knowing nothing but the confines of a rope and the cold ground beneath them. For years, they endured harsh weather, hunger, and loneliness. Rain soaked their fur, the scorching sun burned their skin, and the nights brought nothing but silence and cold. Their world was small, just that tree and each other. But sometimes, even in the darkest moments, life has a way of surprising us. Something incredible was about to happen. This is a story of resilience, compassion, and an unexpected twist that changed everything. Stay with us as we uncover the incredible journey of a dog and his puppies who refused to give up hope. It all started when a passerby noticed something unusual while walking along a quiet, overgrown path. At first glance, it seemed like just another abandoned spot, but the faint sound of whimpering caught their attention. Following the sound, they discovered a heartbreaking scene. A dog tied to a tree, his body thin and weak, and beside him, several small puppies huddled together for warmth. The sight was almost too much to bear. The father dog's fur was matted, his eyes dull from years of suffering. Yet there was a spark of protectiveness in the way he stayed close to his puppies. The puppies, born into this tragic existence, looked fragile and scared, their tiny frames showing clear signs of malnourishment. Word began to spread, reaching a local rescue group that was known for taking on even the most difficult cases. When the rescuers arrived, they were met with a scene that spoke of years of neglect and hardship. The ground around the tree was bare, the grass worn away by years of pacing. An old rusty bowl sat nearby, offering no sign of the food or water that should have been there. The rescuers knew they had to act quickly. But it wasn't going to be easy. The dogs were understandably hesitant, unsure if these strangers could be trusted. The father dog stood guard, his body tense, his instincts urging him to protect his puppies at all costs. Slowly and patiently, the rescuers worked to gain their trust. They spoke softly, moving carefully, offering food and water to show they meant no harm. As the minutes stretched into hours, the father dog began to relax, sensing that these people might be their only chance at freedom. After years of suffering, their lives were about to change forever. The rescuers wasted no time. With the father dog cautiously watching their every move, they began cutting through the thick, weathered ropes that had bound him to the tree for so many years. It was as if each frayed strand that fell away symbolized a step closer to freedom. The father dog remained calm but alert, his eyes filled with a mixture of fear and hope. He seemed to understand that these people were there to help. The puppies, on the other hand, were hesitant. They clung to each other, unsure of what was happening, their tiny bodies trembling from both hunger and fear. As the ropes were finally removed, the father dog took a tentative step forward, his legs unsteady from years of confinement. For a moment, it seemed he wasn't sure what to do with his newfound freedom. But when one of the rescuers knelt down and extended a hand, offering gentle words of reassurance, he slowly approached, his tail giving a faint, hopeful wag. Next came the challenge of getting the puppies to safety. The rescuers carefully placed them in soft blankets, handling them as gently as possible. Each puppy let out a small, frightened whimper, but with the presence of their father and the soothing voices of the rescuers, they began to settle. The team worked quickly to load the dogs into their vehicle, ensuring they were as comfortable as possible for the journey ahead. As the car doors closed and the engine started, it was the beginning of a new chapter for this little family. For the first time in years, they were leaving the tree behind. What lay ahead was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Their suffering was over, and they were finally on their way to a second chance at life. As the rescue team arrived at the shelter, they immediately began examining the father dog and his puppies. The staff worked quickly to assess their health, treating their wounds, bathing their frail bodies, and providing them with proper food and clean water for the first time in years. But it was during these initial evaluations that something extraordinary came to light. One of the puppies, smaller and quieter than the others, exhibited a remarkable behavior. While the other puppies huddled together or explored cautiously, this little one seemed to gravitate toward the humans, offering gentle nuzzles and locking eyes with a gaze that felt almost human. The staff soon realized there was something special about this puppy. Despite everything he had endured, he had a calm, almost healing presence. He would sit quietly beside the veterinarians as they worked, his soft gaze offering a strange sense of comfort. Whenever another dog in the shelter barked or cried, he would tilt his head and emit a soft whimper, almost as if he was trying to communicate with them. It didn't take long for the team to notice how this puppy's behavior affected everyone around him. Other dogs seemed to calm down in his presence, and the shelter staff began referring to him as their little therapist. What made this even more incredible was the realization that even in his moments of struggle and fear, this tiny puppy still seemed to possess an innate ability to bring peace and connection to those around him. This unexpected discovery brought a renewed sense of hope and purpose to the rescue. The father dog and his puppies were no longer just survivors. They were symbols of resilience, and this one special puppy was proof that even in the darkest circumstances, light can emerge in the most surprising ways. At the shelter, the transformation of the father dog and his puppies began. Slowly but surely, their physical wounds started to heal, and their spirits grew stronger. The father dog, once weary and defeated, began to show glimpses of the protector and loving parent he had always been. He wagged his tail more often, played gently with his puppies, and even started seeking affection from the rescuers. The puppies, too, underwent an incredible change. Their once fragile bodies gained strength, and their playful energy blossomed. They tumbled over each other, chased toys, and explored their surroundings with an innocence they had never known before. It was as though they were finally getting the childhood they had been deprived of. As the days turned into weeks, each member of the little family began to show their unique personality. The father dog displayed a wise, calm demeanor, while the puppies were full of curiosity and joy. And the special puppy, the one who had brought unexpected comfort to everyone, continued to amaze the shelter staff. He seemed to understand when someone needed a little extra love, quietly sitting by them or resting his tiny head on their lap. Word of the family's story spread quickly. People were touched by their resilience and the bond they shared. Adoption inquiries poured in, with families eager to provide them with the love and care they had missed for so long. One by one, the puppies found their forever homes, each going to a family that would cherish and nurture them. The special puppy, with his unique gift for connection, found a home with a family that planned to train him as a therapy dog, a role he seemed destined for. And the father dog? He was adopted by a kind-hearted couple who understood the depth of his journey. In their home, he found the peace and comfort he had waited for all those years. For the first time, he could rest, knowing his puppies were safe and his own story had a happy ending. The little family's journey was finally complete. From a life of suffering tied to a tree to the warmth and love of their forever homes, they had overcome unimaginable odds. The father dog, once a symbol of quiet endurance, now spent his days lounging in the sun, enjoying gentle pats and long walks with his new family. His eyes, once filled with sorrow, now shone with contentment and peace. The puppies thrived in their new lives, each one bringing joy to the families who had opened their hearts to them. Their playful barks and boundless energy became daily reminders of how far they had come. The special puppy, who had shown such an extraordinary gift for comfort, began his training as a therapy dog. His new family marveled at how naturally he took to his role, bringing smiles and solace to everyone he met. Their story touched countless hearts, reminding people everywhere of the power of compassion. It showed that even the smallest acts of kindness could break the chains of suffering and transform lives. But perhaps the most beautiful part of this story was the lesson it left behind. Resilience is not just about survival. It's about finding hope in the darkest moments and never giving up. For this dog and his puppies, their second chance wasn't just a happy ending. It was a new beginning. And as their story continues to inspire, it carries an important message. We all have the power to make a difference, to create change, and to bring light to lives that desperately need it. This incredible story is a reminder that no act of kindness is too small. The rescue of this dog and his puppies shows how compassion and action can turn even the most hopeless situations into something extraordinary. If this story touched your heart, you can make a difference too. Consider supporting your local animal shelters and rescue organizations. Whether it's through adoption, fostering, volunteering, or donating, every effort helps to give animals like these a chance at a better life. If you're unable to help directly, sharing stories like this one can also create a ripple effect of change. Together, we can raise awareness and inspire others to take action. Thank you for watching and being a part of this journey. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends and family to spread the message of hope and resilience. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more stories like this one. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about saving animals, it's about believing in second chances and the incredible things that happen when we choose kindness.